So this is a short video about how to do a composite veneer, and it's one technique for how to do that. There's loads of different ways that you can do composite veneers. This one is using PTFE tape, so I've recorded myself placing a composite veneer on a single central incisor, and I'll walk you through it as to how I would do that. So let's go. So like I said, I'm starting off with the PTFE tape. Now PTFE tape you can get from online hardware stores. You probably pull off a piece that is about a couple of inches long. If you grip it from both sides and give it a hard pull, you'll probably be able to snap it. Key thing with PTFE tape is pulling it tight with no folds, and then you essentially floss it between the teeth. So kind of squeeze it between the teeth, one either side. You might want to floss the contact first, it sometimes helps, and then it ends up looking like this, where you kind of fold it over the teeth and the one tooth you're working on is sort of exposed and ready to go. You actually bond the tooth at some point, either before or after you put the PTFE on, doesn't really matter. Although if you bond the tooth first, you might bond the teeth together, so it might be a bit more difficult to get the PTFE through, but there's ways to avoid that. And then when you're placing them in here, what I do is get a big blob of composite, place it kind of on the middle of the tooth, and then you want to slowly sort of blend the composite into the tooth. I think this is the first version where I took a piece that was too small, so I flicked it off. I've got a bigger blob. It's better to have more composite than less, because you can always get rid of the excess, but if you've just done it all and you find out, oh, you've not got quite enough, then that is worse. So spread it onto the tooth. Now what I tend to do is spread it, so you've got a blob in the middle of the tooth, spread it towards the gingival margin first, and I kind of get that gingival third sort of all spread out, covering the surface of the tooth, and then I start spreading it towards the contact points, the mesial and the distal. So I'm doing the sort of gingival third of the tooth, and then I'm starting to spread it towards the side. Now the composite veneer does not have to be perfect when you're just putting it on. So the composite veneer does not have to be perfect when you're spreading it on. You're just trying to cover the whole surface and make sure you've got enough material on the tooth. You don't want to have not enough, and you don't need to worry about being perfect. So I've spread it towards the mesial and the distal, and now I'm spreading it towards the incisal edge. And essentially, you go towards the PTFE tape at the sides. You want a nice thin, the thinnest instrument you can find. There's like instruments made specifically for placing composite, like this one that I'm using. So there's loads of different ones. Basically something narrow, quite long, that you can easily get into sort of narrow gaps with. So what I do is spread it towards the contact point, push it right up against the PTFE tape, and then with the nice narrow instrument kind of slice up it so that you've got, I'm sort of doing here, so you've just got a join that's flush with the tooth, and then you're checking that the contact point is clear along that, all the way up the contact point, and you're not going to stick to the tooth next door because the PTFE tape is there. Now if the teeth were overlapping, this technique is not going to work very well, and that's when you might need to use a different technique, which we can do other videos about. But for a nice straightforward one, this technique can work really well. The most difficult bit is probably getting that mesial and distal right, and then this technique is good for the incisal edge, where you kind of get the material up towards the incisal edge and then kind of just push it flat over the top of the tooth. So providing the tooth is a good length and you're happy with the length of the tooth, then you're just pushing it flat over the top, and you'll get a lump of excess off the back that you can just flick it off before you cure it. Otherwise you'll have a big old blob of composite that you've got to drill off, which is just a waste of time. So there we go, I've covered the surface, smoothed it out, and I haven't cured that yet, but I'm pretty pleased with it. It looks like a nice looking tooth. And then you can very easily and happily refine that shape, adjust it, polish it after you've cured it. And what else am I doing here? So sometimes before you cure it, you might just go around and just tidy it up a little bit. That's what I'm doing here. But it's very easy in dentistry to waste time, and I've finished there. So like I said earlier, that's one technique for doing a composite veneer. There's lots of different ways that you can do that, and we've made this channel to make helpful videos for various bits that people might find helpful with their daily work. So if you like the videos, please like and subscribe to the channel, and please also let us know what you would find helpful. We would like to make videos that you actually find useful, so let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching.